Chosen One!
Welcome to The Chosen One. I am your host, Qui-Gon Din. I am joined by my brother in arms, Hail Cthulhu. Today we are going to be talking Jin and our games that we have played this week with her. We've done a fair amount of testing with her, and we've ended up on a list we are really happy with. Our first game, we ended up playing her paired with Andor. We took Jin, Luke, Baze, and Chirrut, Andor, K2SO with Rebel Commandos. This game we played
It
into.
was Vader Thrawn, and it was a loss for Jin and Andor.
Yeah.
It was
So,
a 2-0 struggle, and it was 2-2 wounds.
yeah. So Jin's pairing with Andor, I was not big on. I don't think Andor's proactive enough for Jin. She really wants to get into the fray real quick. But noticeable when she gets into the fray, I think she's really strong. And Baze and Chirrut have been pretty solid.
Yeah, Baze and Chirrut are very strong activation. And I think the best thing that Jin had going on that game was the momentum healing. But outside of that, I think Andor's just too easy to play around with. Not just You just don't wound anything.
Yeah, she needs a more, in our opinions, this is not like 100% fact. You can probably pair Jin with Andor and it'll be fine. It's just for our style of play, at least on my end, it's too reactive compared to, you need a more proactive take, which is what led to our next game's pairing. And this time my brother in arms.
This one, it was Jin and Leia versus Armor and Mando, and this was a really good game. It was 2-1 struggles effort, and Jin and Leia won. It was 8-8, 8-8 kills, and Jin and Loba were the MVP. Jin, it was able to hold an entire side of the map by herself. Well, her and Bartu held one side of the map, and I think at the end of it, she had 3 wounds on her, and her getting wounded meant nothing. It didn't affect her at all that game.
Like she's once she's in this position to really start doing attacks off of her tactic, she's impacting multiple units on a point, setting up for multiple wounds later. She's just really aggressive, and Leia on this board allowed her to get into position to do things and just allowed you to position a board. Even Baze and Chirrut did a lot of work that game. Like they just pushed on the points.
Yeah. They killed Armor once, and then Lobot killed Armor once.
We're really liking Lobot with this pairing. Lobot with Baze and Chirrut is something that we will discuss further in our third game we played. He's really solid in this list. We also kind of figured out some stuff that we could do with Leia and Lobot, which is also funny. But the mobility is the big thing here. Even her giving Bartu a 5-die attack can just tee things up for damage because of their expertise.
Yeah, we did learn that if you have her on her melee side, her 5-die attack is actually better because it turns you get the crit and then the hit to crit on your 5-die. And you generally get the 2 down your tree, what you want, because you get the 2 crits.
Yeah, and we generally kept her in the melee stance the most of the game just because of that aspect.
Yeah, and if she couldn't get a 5-die attack, a support was at that point in the game, a support was able to make a 5-die attack, and then she just did a regular attack. So she was affecting 2 points every turn she made. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she's very mobile. So to give a breakdown of the list that we've kind of settled on for this, we have Jin with Luke, and Bazin Turret, and then we got Leia, Lobot, and Bartu. Princess Leia charming to the last. The reason why we're not playing Bodhi Rook in this slot is Bodhi Rook is a really cool tech piece, but we kind of figured out early on that Jin really likes movement to get up the board to really set things up, and Luke in this spot really helps get her up the board right off the bat. And he is also a much more impactful playmaker on the board just because he can also get to side points. The list is a really aggressive scoring.
Yeah, it likes to take points really quick, and it has the attrition to back it up. Baze and Turret are probably your second strongest activation outside of Jin. They're so consistent in what they do, and you'll never stop them. You can't condition them out because they'll heal it off when they revive, and then or they refresh you to force. We didn't have any force problems with this list at all.
And the cool thing about what Lobot does in this list is if you don't want them flipping stance to get that focus, just move them next to Lobot and they get a focus. It allows that free focus, really allows you to go, cool, they're already doing their thing. They can get in position, they can shoot with extra dice. And if they're already in position where they don't have to like use movement, they're just a net positive force wise.
Yeah. We found a cool interaction with Leia that she could get a turn one strike on deployment.
So in game 3, we I ended up piloting the same Jin Leia list. This time playing into a Thrawn or not Thrawn, Krennic Vader and Leia. We got her tactic, which we moved Bazin Turret up with a dash. We then spent a force to move turret into a center point, and we had Leia, or not moved turret. We had turret through the heel. Leia dashes in front of Lobot, which then triggers crack shot because she gained a focus from Lobot, got her a second dash, and then we advanced her up the board. And she's able to make a range 5 deployment shot, which is kind of cool. And it sets her up. I made the attack on the wrong side of the tree. I should have done her shove side because she has a reposition on 3. But the fact that we can do that is a really cool play.
Yeah, it's a really cool interaction to get a deployment shot with someone that usually doesn't get one.
Yeah, Lobot is kind of the secret sauce of this list. Him with Jin giving the extra attacks off of Bazin Turret really pushed the extra mile.
Yeah, it's super fun. You get to attack a lot, like multiple attacks with a couple of these. With Jin, you get 2 separate attacks, and then Lobot gets 2 separate. So it gets really strong.
And then Lobot really gets to start with the positioning power. I was able to off of Lobot activation, I was able to use Bazin Turret, get him on the midline, and just take points. It was a really aggressive game. That game ended up going in the Leia Jin's favor real quick.
Yeah, I think I ended up running Vader into the center point where Base Turret and Lobot were at, and they managed to fight off Vader. They didn't kill him, but they condition stacked him. And I think they got him down to 3 health left.
They got close, yeah, and then just came down to Jin activating and got the kill on Vader. And I think she did it with the 5-die attack from Bazin Turret.
Yeah, they 5-die attacked him and killed him.
It's just a really aggressive scoring list. I don't think the way I see the list being played, this is just my opinion. I think it's definitely, you want to play a proactive scoring game with it. I think Jin, if you want to maximize her kit, Charming Leia, characters like that, characters like Han Solo, General Solo are going to be really strong with Jin. The really lists that can push movement, I think is where she's going to shine the most.
Yeah, she plays a lot like Hunter, but I think she's a little more consistent.
I also think she's just got access to
Yeah,
better units.
maybe it's just better support.
Like Baze and Churret. So no joke, Baze and Churret are probably the MVPs of the box as a whole. They are, in my opinions, probably fighting for top support in the game. Uh, you can call that a hot take, but in all the games we played, they have been consistent.
Yeah, the first one generally gets 3 down your tree and then exposes, and then the next one gets 4 or 5 down the tree.
They always have a solid activation. I think we used their movement. We used both sides of their movement on their thing. Because on the game where I double dashed Baze up to the center point. When they activated, I used the reposition to get Turret right back up into the action, so that way they're both on the midline. It's a really solid unit. And even when I had to make a range attack on their melee side, it's still consistent enough that you're getting some results through. They're just really good.
Yeah. Jin's healing ability is super powerful. Every time so even if you reach 0 on the momentum tracker and your opponent gains momentum from that, she gets to heal. So it's not just your opponent kills one of your guys and they gain a momentum, you get a heal. It's anytime, and it's super strong.
It's really powerful. It mainly keeps her condition free, which is really important because her defense is pretty lackluster.
Yeah, that is her downfall. She's gonna be fairly easy to kill, although we did in the Mando game. We had Qui-Gon attacked me with, what was it, coverts. I got the dash on one and had dashed out of attack range, so his second attack hit her.
He took the strain damage because it was 5 damage in a strain, or 3 in a strain. He took the strain damage, so he ended up having 6 damage on her. Dashed her out of range from the second covert, which would have gotten the wound, and then she just healed it up later. Like it prolonged her life by a full turn, and she was activated so many times that game. There's a reason why she had 3 wounded tokens on her, because
I think I Shatterpointed her 3 times.
Yeah, like she did so much work on the side of the board. Everyone was at this like corner point, and it was my coverts and Clan Kreese on one side of the board against the Jin and the Bartu. And Bartu and Jin just were able to hold that side of the board to my supports. I thought I had a pretty good. It was a really close game. It came down to literally like we were both full on momentum. It was nuts. Her activation though just completely changed the way the game went. She was very strong.
Yeah, Bartu actually won me the game.
Yeah, middling attacks, but they still do what they need to do.
Jin managed to get both your supports down to 1 health left, and Bartu only needed the
get two kills.
Yeah, all they needed was to kill them twice for me to get the win, and all they needed was an expertise, and it was done.
Yeah, like Bartu, their output's kind of meh, but their attacks that you have to take if you want to take Lobot with Leia, and I think it's worth it. I think Lobot brings so much value to this specific list. Lobot can move Jin, Lobot can move Baze or Churret or Bartu. Lobot can move himself. It's really strong on the front, and then Lobot just giving them a 5-die attack, teeing. Lobot's able to actually hit pretty hard in the list because he can use Baze and Turret to tee up things to get range with Lobot on the kill. There was one game where like they went 3 down the tree and then Lobot attacked the exposed unit and got the wound.
Yeah, we didn't use the reckless, aggressive, and undisciplined, I don't think, at all. And we didn't use the momentum the spend one momentum for your force.
Yeah,
We didn't have any problems with force in this list.
yeah. The Basin Church just they're such a net positive for Rebels. I think they're gonna see a lot of play. I think out of the most meta relevancy unit out of the box, it's going to be Base and Turret. Watch out for them. They are going to be seeing play in a ton of Rebel lists.
And definitely anybody that likes Hunter will definitely like
Jin.
Jin.
She's solid.
Yeah, she was a lot of fun to play. The amount of movement she gets, the amount of attack she gets to do. She's not overly damage heavy, but she can spike.
She can spike. What she's really doing is she's setting up stuff for multi-wound turns down the line. It's a snowball effect, kind of similar to what Krennic does, but she is more aggressive at it. And man, is she gonna be watch out for her. She's not Iden. This is not a boogeyman of the meta type list. This is just gonna add another offensive scoring list to the game. Where I can see it definitely having trouble is into other attrition matchups. I think like the stuff gets wounded pretty easily.
Yeah, I think if you were to go against the Vader Iden or the Bounty Hunters list, you might have a problem just that you're dying. But
I think the list is really solid. I think it hits really hard. It scores fast. This is, in my opinion, this is Bad Batch 2.0.
I would agree. Yeah,
it's definitely gonna be a high output, high octane. You're moving a lot, very proactive. You still have a revenge trigger, but Leia's easy enough to play around that the revenge trigger is good, but it's not going to be the thing that you have to worry about in this list. This list is really a Lobot and Jin list, and it's really strong.
I never thought I would like Lobot in this game, and my whole opinion on him has changed after playing this list. He is him when he killed Armor. I had to laugh. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah, no, like the so for anyone at home, we didn't play Bodhi at all this week, and I'm gonna be testing Bodhi with Luke, but I have some thoughts on Bodhi where he's got a really cool kit. The Steadfast is gonna be really cool. My big issue is with Jin. Bodhi has to be in such a position to move Jin. Luke can move her board wide, so Luke can go off and do his own thing. And once Bodhi goes down, he becomes a huge force tax on your list, and he's gonna go down.
Yeah, Jin definitely wants to be moved before she activates. Her or like Baze and Churret want to be up on the field on a point further up, so you get that 5-die attack.
And that's the great thing about Leia here. Leia moves Baze and Churret off of her tactic. They're generally going to be the first target that or get moved off that, and then Leia can also move Jin with her other dashing ability. Like if you pull Leia first, great.
Yeah, Leia's actually a really good turn 1 activation in this list. She can alpha strike, she can move your other units. It's pretty good.
Yeah. If this comes out before August, this list is locked in for me. I'm probably taking it to the GT. We have no idea when this stuff's coming out at this point.
Yeah, all I can see is Euro's getting it on the 11th.
Yeah, and if Europe gets it before the US, I'm probably ordering it from Europe if I can find a way to buy it, and I'll risk trying to get it before the event. Really, really want to play this list. It's really good. Always got a simp for Lobot when I get the chance. I played him when he first came out for a bit, but Really, really like him with this Jin list. It's very, very strong. We've got first impressions on the board is this list is something to pay attention to if you see it. It has a lot of dynamic plays and they can pull stuff out of just nowhere. Jin's activations can all of a sudden turn the battlefield into Jin's favor. It's really good.
Yeah, Lobot, you get that focus on almost everybody on the team outside Leia and Luke. Everybody else can get that focus off of his.
Oh no, everyone gets the focus. It's that part's not on scoundrels.
They ought to be scoundrels.
No, the scoundrels for the tactic. The tactic is a scoundrel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's why Lobot's really good in this list. You got Jin, who's a scoundrel. You got Bazin Turret. You got Bartu, and then Lobot himself. So Lobot, you don't want to play Lobot too aggressively, where you're shoving him on the front lines, but you use him as a toolkit piece to move people in position. His lockdown's nice and can force your opponent into some interesting situations, but he is such a good support secondary, because that's the idea with this list. Your heavy hitters in this list are definitely Bazin Turret and Jin. And
yeah,
they are pulling the weight on your attrition. The rest of the stuff in the list is really there to score. Leia is there to be the glue that holds the support all together.
Yeah, it's mainly a scoring list, and then the Bazin Turret and Jin are your output.
Yeah, it's got a lot of real strong positioning. If you played Leia Han or Leia Kanan, it's very similar to that, where you have the positioning power, but Kanan is your big output piece for Spectres. This is kind of like that. Jin's going to be best in her home, where she is with these hyper mobile primaries that can move her. I think her with Han Solo has the potential to be a pretty strong list as well, because when Jin's getting wounds, Han Solo's moving around the board. I think there's definitely some play there.
Yeah, Han Solo's getting a lot better now than when he first came out.
Yeah,
I'm liking him a lot more.
Like, it's Jin's gonna be very cool. I think you can play her with Andor, but Andor is just not my style. I haven't liked Andor in any of the games I've played.
I tried him with Luke. That did okay. And then I tried him with Kanan, which that was pretty fun. Who did we play that again? Oh yeah, that was before Battle Pass.
Yeah, we so we tested with Andor with Luke, and I think I have to go back to the Andor Luke board, because that's probably where I would play Bodhi Rook. But I'm really liking Luke with Kanan right now. Spoiler, that's my list that's locked in for the GT unless we get Jin, then it's Jin Leia. And then my Mace list that's locked. I think we're gonna have fun. Spoiler, we're having a whole series called The Journey to Evergreen Open. It is going to be coming out in August. I got a couple guests lined up for that already, but we're going to be very much cataloging and vlogging all of our journey to that GT, because it is Hail Cthulhu's first convention and his first GT.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Excited, anxious, all that stuff.
Well, hopefully, you just got to get past the analysis paralysis phase of the game. Turn 0 is the biggest issue for you.
Yeah, I think list chicken will probably be the hardest part for me.
Like, yeah, we play 3 to 4 games every week. And Adepticon was my first big event for the game, and this is gonna be Hail Cthulhu's first big event. It's gonna be pretty eye-opening. I think he'll do fine.
I'm not really worried about that part. I don't know about the 5 hour drive and then the hour and a half there and back every day.
Yeah. Hey, at least it's not you being stuck at an airport for 12 hours.
Yeah,
That's not until Adepticon, which we are going. That is a plan, at least for now. Stuff could always come up, but that is on our agenda. Well, this has been The Chosen One, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. We hope you enjoyed our in-depth kind of second impressions of Jin after getting her on the table finally. And peace out. Thank you for watching this episode of The Chosen One, a Star Wars Shatterpoint podcast. If you want to catch the next video, you can watch the one linked above, or you can just go and listen to the podcast on the playlist below. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for your support.